All right. So with the final selection of the 2023 NFL Draft at pick 228, the Tennessee Titans select local guy, wide receiver Josh Dowell out of UT-Martin. For by all accounts, he's an athletic freak, according to so many. I actually remember this guy making plays on UT because that's where a lot of people are going to get exposure because the tape on UT-Martin prospects is not plentiful. But you see a guy who has linear speed, the ability to separate vertically down the field. You see a guy that obviously can work hard and set goals for his body to increase his speed, to increase his strength, to improve his value. A guy that can play on special teams as a gunner and coverage units. And a guy that's just willing to work. And at pick 228, you only got 31 more picks after that. So you're trying to find guys that can play on special teams that do have value, that can like vie and compete and push people at the bottom tier of the roster and the bottom tier of their position group to really set a standard. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy stays healthy and he remains on the practice squad. I don't know if a roster is in the future, but this is a guy that has the athletic traits. And I'm not knocking them taking a flyer on a guy in the last 30 picks of the draft. That's fine. Because at that point, that's what you are doing. You're trying to find guys that you personally liked. And as a seventh round pick, they like Josh Dowell. So it kind of is what it is with that. There's nothing wrong with it. But I would say that obviously the level of competition when you're making these selections, I know there's a lot of connection there with the Titans coaches and then Josh Dowell, UT-Martin connections. So it's fine, but at the same time, if you're really trying to draft high-end players, each pick in and pick out, level of competition is important to note. But you got somebody that's athletic, and if you feel like it translates, you didn't see it enough, obviously, because he's not in the conference that you can see it. But if they felt that way, fine. But I'm more of a guy that at that point I'm still trying to find leverage. Well, what is the level of competition? Okay, what is the athletic, quotient? How can we kind of negotiate that and then go from there? That was their guy. And when I say I wouldn't have done it, it's just my philosophy and some of the guys on my board and how it's stacked. I would have went with Trey Dean, the safety out of Florida, where he has that SEC experience. He's a freak. He's a physical freak. He's a freak of nature when it comes to his physique. And then just trying to find a place for him as a special teamer as well. And then, a reserve role in that defensive backfield. So just, they took Dow. There's nothing wrong with it. Just a guy that, was a little lower on my radar, but, as far as a developmental piece, sure, they can definitely try it. But there's really no knocks. And, you would say as far as his skill set, you would say that he's a little robotic at the top of his stem. You would say a little choppy, I should say. Built narrow, built linear. He is a vertical guy. He's not going to be laterally impressive in that regard. But, it's just a flyer. And that's really all that pick was. I would say the peak potential, this guy actually vies for a wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5 spot. And then from there, year 2 and 3, you never know. But at the very least, he's going to get cut at the very least. But then somewhere in the middle, you probably got a practice squad guy that can come in if need be, play some special teams.